Hello everyone, my name is Margin Verana. For this video, I am going to interpret underrated and unpopular paintings that suffices powerful message about a certain social issues during the era of Ben Shahn from United States and Van Gogh from Europe. Both of them are all prominent artists that once inspired their paintings by a social issues brought by mining.
An hour ago, way down in this tunnel of coal, the gas caught fire from somebody's lamp, and the miners are choking in smoke.
We're in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. In a painting storage, we can pull out of rock with a large painting by Ben Shahn, and it depicts mine disaster that killed 111 miners. It's showing the aftermath of this horrible disaster. Through the doorway, we see two men with suits with slightly stopped shoulder walking back towards the mine building. But in the foreground, we see a woman, her hands gripped, her head covered, looking with a blank look in her face. And it seems clear that the two figures have just delivered the news that her husband, a miner, was killed in this tragedy. So, she's now a widow. In the left side of the painting, we see two smaller figures, an older woman and a child, presumably her child and perhaps her mother. But this woman in the right and the largest figure is still by herself. Those eyes have no pupils. We see instead these large black circles, and there's an emphasis on the inner corners of the eyes, which makes it seem as if she had been up all night waiting for the news. The eyes are so dark, and while they are pointing ahead, it's as thought she were gazing into space, lost in her own thought. We can feel implicated with this tragedy and her suffering. The figures are walking away and she's been left alone, and yet the older woman and the child are now her responsibility. The artist Ben Shahn is often as a social realist, an American artist interested in revealing social problems in his own era. United States had a long history in confronting issues of industrial safety. There is this history of tragedy being followed by reform. Well, inspired by this mining disaster, he is trying to touch upon the bigger social issue by focusing on the personal impact that the lack of oversight, the lack of mine safety regulation, the loss of life is having on what feels like the very individuals. He is not showing the mine explosion, but he depicts its impact after the disaster. The 19th century was a period of enormous change, and great part sparkled in the Industrial Revolution that affected technological advances, the socio-economic climate throughout Europe, and cultural stabilities. When Van Gogh moved to The Hague in 1882, the city was experiencing massive growth in industry, and the population had increased dramatically as peasants and laborers from the surrounding countryside were drawn to the town with hopes and improved wages. Two of the most prevalent industries were mining and textiles, both of which provided Van Gogh with subject matter for his paintings. The artist felt a deep sympathy and connection with the people who struggled daily in their manual jobs and saw them as honest in their labors. The woman here who struggled under their heavy socks have no identity, and Van Gogh have turned them into symbols of their class. The socks and the figures are almost indistinguishable from each other, and with the precision of woman disappearing away into the distance, there is a tangible sense of infinity with no chance of change for their lives. In my locality in Maragusan, Pamintaran, one of the barangay in municipality of Malagusan, is known for gold mining. So many people were given a financial opportunities and job. However, we cannot really deny the fact that their quest in sustaining their living awaits a very severe risk as they dig down the earth. The same with a woman carrying a sack of coal by Vincent van Gogh, most miners in Pamintaran who were initially poor remains in their social status since the natural resources could not really sustain in the long run due to an equal wage for their labor. Also, the tragic mining explosion does not only happen during the context of Ben Shahn, because this tragedy is not new in Malagusan. Family members had mourned to the death of their family members who were once a miner. It is an awakening call for the government to intensify the safety regulation in mining industries and implement such program that could really support and protect the right of miners to receive a monetary amount that can compensate their labors or hard works as a miners. So I think that would be all. Thank you for watching.